takes you through the process of my making my favorite pretzels. They aren't the best looking things in the world, however, they are awesome. Hi, this is Beverly Fells Jones, author, speaker, authority on memory, cook, gardener, mother, and Mimi, and welcome to my channel. If you like this video, please click the like button. If you don't like it, go ahead and click the down button too, but hopefully you'll really like it. And please like, subscribe, and to be notified when there are new videos released, click on the bell so that you'll be notified. Okay, well, let's get started in making these awesome sourdough pretzels. So, hello, and this is my bowl of sourdough. Sourdough starter, actually. It's pretty thick right now because I just added some flour and water to it not too long ago, but it's pretty thick. So the yeast inside of this will eat down the thickness and it'll get more watery over time. However, I've been nursing this guy for about 7 days. I had some in the refrigerator. I store it in this plastic container, old mayonnaise jar. It's plastic. You can do glass too, but the lid has to be a plastic lid because you don't want the sourdough touching any metal on your there because it will affect the yeast. Now today I decided that I wanted to make sourdough pretzels. Okay, sourdough pretzels. I have a cookbook. I'm going to pull this out. The cookbook that I purchased in San Francisco 20 years ago. I would say 20 years ago, probably about 20 years ago. Adventures in Sourdough Cooking and Baking. And I've made sourdough biscuits, sourdough rolls, French bread using the sourdough. But today I want sourdough pretzels. When I was in Germany, I know this is, and I'll put the recipe down in the comment section, description section. When I was in Germany, I was working for IBM at the time, and we would take a break in the morning. And it was fantastic because I was eating my way through Germany, let me tell you. It was a 7.5-minute walk to the cafeteria, 7.5-minute back. So that was 15 minutes of walking in the morning, in the afternoon, for our morning breaks, afternoon breaks. And then at lunchtime, we walked around the complex outside. So I got lots of walking in because I needed it for what I was eating. But they had these awesome pretzels. Now, I don't make pretty pretzels. Tell you the truth, I really don't make pretty pretzels. I try to make the little pretzel look, but sometimes I make them just as sticks. Sometimes they're just like donuts. It just depends on what mood I'm in. So if you make pretzels, you don't have to make them in the shape you see in the malls or on the street vendors. That's just the traditional look of the pretzels. Now, when I put the directions down in the description, I'm going to do this whole recipe, but I'm going to make 1/2 of the recipe because it's just me and my daughter may eat a couple. So I'm only going to do 1/2 of the recipe. So if you want to do half a recipe, just cut everything in half and use that, except for the egg yolk, of course. You can only have one of those. Anyway. So it's going to wind up to be 2 3/4 cups of flour, which is just short of the 3 cups that I make when I make bread, and that usually lasts me a while. Now these pretzels can be used for a snack. I slice them, butter them up, toast them, which is what we did in Germany, and they were so good, just like that. Or you can make them in such a way that you can make them, use them to make sandwiches. You've seen pretzel hot dogs where the pretzel is wrapped around the hot dog and it's cooked there. So there's many ways to use pretzel dough. But I'm just going to make some pretzels and we'll see what kind of shapes I come up with. All right. And I'll be back with you near the end because right now I'm just going to make pictures at different stages of making this recipe. So I've taken 1 cup of the sourdough starter, and mixed it with a little bit of water. And I've started putting in the flour, and I'm mixing the flour in with that sourdough starter mix. Now, as you see, it's kind of thick, and that's because my sourdough starter mix was also thick. So I took that 1/4 cup of water and added it in so I could have a really good consistency for my dough. I kneaded it up, wrapped it around, and put it in to the bowl to double. I very rarely change bowls, so I just washed this one out, wiped it out, and just put it back in. Here you see it's doubled. Well, I have allowed the dough to rest, and it has not quite doubled in size. What you'll find is with sourdough starter, your bread doesn't rise as quickly as it does when you're using regular instant yeast or regular yeast. So it's doubled, I can tell, because of the dimple. Let me get the shadow out of here, but I've got the dimple, see, and you press it in and you got a nice little hole there. Anyway, and now I have my little pizza paddle, my wooden pizza paddle, because that's the largest I have, and I'm going to place some flour on here, right? And what I'm going to do, so I don't want a lot of flour, just a little bit, just enough so the bread doesn't stick. And then I'm going to take a piece of dough, kind of hard when you get the camera in one hand and trying to work from there. So this is a piece of dough, maybe a little bit bigger. All right, now there's a couple things I could do. I can make this half the size and create little pretzel balls, right? I can take it and continue, and I'm going to stop this video while I do this, but I can roll this, right, over and over until, look at the little dimples, until it gets kind of long. So I'm going to pause this, and I'm going to roll this out to length, and then I'll bring it back. Okay, so I'm back. Let me raise this up a little bit, and you see how long that is. So I just kind of rolled it back and forth, and then I kind of stretched it till it got this long. Now, the directions say 18 inches. I have no clue. But here I am with that. It probably should be a little bit longer, but then I can take it like this. So this is going to be a small pretzel, and by the time it rises, it's going to be, let's see, it's going to be, come on. All right, come on, behave. It's, all right. And then this one is, okay. I know what I didn't do. I need to do it a double. Boy, I tell you, right? And then we bring them over like this. Yeah, this is nowhere long enough, right? So I'm going to create my own little pretzel like this, and like this, and like so. And then I'm going to bring this guy around like, I know, when I hit my thumb is my finger's been in the way. I'm sorry. And I'm going to do this because I didn't make this long enough. I told you, I really don't care about, how this pretzel looks, right? So I'm going to make a long pretzel, like so. And then I'll take another one and see if I can roll it out long enough that, I'm sorry guys about this terrible cinematography, but I'm not like a, trained chef or anything. I just like to make good food. Anyhow, so that one's there. I'm going to just sit it there. Then I'm going to get another piece, roll it out, and see if I make it long enough. Okay, I'm back. I got a nice long one. I mean, really long. So I have it like so. Okay, usually you're using two hands and wrap it around again, just like I did with the other one, right? And then take these and then bring them over like so, right? It's not, I tell you, well, I did it down too low. So, 1, 2, and then bring it over, okay? And put one here, and one here, and then you open it up. Okay, one there, one there. And just let it be. So, that's a pretzel. All right, let me get the rest of this done, and I'll be back. Well, as you see, I did get around and got quite a few pretzels done, and they're in their ugly shapes, but I don't care. I want to make sure that at least they got shaped. Here I'm mixing an egg and some milk so that I can do a wash, so it's heavy cream that I used. And this, I take the brush and I put it on top of the pretzels. So it's a mixture of one egg and about a quarter of a cup of heavy cream. So this picture shows me taking that mixture and putting it on the top of each one of these pretzel shapes. And once I've done that, then I took sea salt, very coarse sea salt, and I sprinkled it on top of each one of the pretzels. Now notice here, they're fatter, they're bigger. That's because they have risen. I gave them time to rise. And then we put them in an oven of 425 degrees and let them cook until they're golden brown. Aren't they gorgeous? Those are beautiful. The ones on the right are a little bit browner, but they are really goodness. They grow. So there's that one pretzel that I did. Well, maybe that's the second one. Anyway, and I couldn't wait. I sliced it open and I put butter on it. I just lathered it in butter, even though, I try to do keto a little bit, but I lathered it in butter and it was awesome. Well, I hope you enjoyed your demonstration of making sourdough pretzels on today's episode of Eclectic Alchemy.